Brent Richino here. Today I want to share with you the importance of aiming to the top so that you can really win big. This is important because second place is not that great compared to the number one. And then the difference between the top and then the second will widen. Uh, and it's not gonna get close, but it's just widen. So it's always good to aim for the top and then just try to stay there. I didn't quite the importance of the being a number one. This concept, and when I was younger, I always try to be go to the top, but then somewhere in like let's say top 10, top 20 would be suffice. But then that kind of attitude I had was destined for the mediocrity, because whenever you do something for, let's say, smartly for a long time, and then if you can only land in 10th place or ninth place or whatever, then very likely that the field you are in is not for you. Um, it's it's just because it's not like necessarily you didn't like it or you like it. You might really like it or passionate about it, but then there are people that who can do a lot better. Like you know, especially like a guy who are always consistently getting like the top things on at the results. And and especially this type of thing happen. I what I noticed is like generally when you are when I my case is like when I not be able to like perform really well, it's a crowded field. It's like already a bunch of people get in, and then it became a place where getting to the top is almost like just a alignment of somebody else's talent. The way they do things, processes match up, and some few people become very good at these, but then the rest of them are just okay. Kind of really catch up. Probably you might notice, unless you're like always on the top. In whatever you do, you might notice some of the field you get into, no matter how much you work hard, there is always somebody that who do better than you do. And in that case, what you're gonna do, and that will make a huge uh, divergence on how your life trajectory gonna go. And it's strongly suggest, if you can, if somebody is spectacularly better than you do, you need to actually in a sense step back and then think of doing something else, at least change your tactic or strategy. But it's hard if somebody's really good at certain field, and even though if the strategy might not really work because they pretty much figured it out, and then the distance is going to be widen and widen. So um, the key part about this is that you create your own game at the end of the day. Because if you create your own game and if you put your own rules, then that's your advantage, right? And then somebody's coming in might be better at, but they're not as good as you because you're the one who created it. That's the difference of what I'm talking about, being the top. I'm not saying that the top in idea that then go to the crowded field and then compete. That's just a lot of times that's a losing game. And then we tends to get into this type of competition mode, but then that's just not how the success will generate. It doesn't really matter what other people really do, but then you gotta be on the top of what you do. That's really the idea here. So what if you think, oh, I don't have talent to be a number one, right? I'm not really good at much. Important thing is everybody has a talent. Everybody has some interest or something you want to do. But what people generally, or I didn't have, is that the process, like how to make that things flourish to be a number one. Maybe it comes from your timidity, fear, whatever. But as long as you, so it's like if the world is what you see is all you have, then you're trying to, let's say you're square peg, right? Square peg. Everything is just a round hole. It just doesn't fit, and that's why you are struggling. Possibly, if you're working really hard and then, but then you somehow things are not really going well, then generally that's the case. I mean, some people are very lucky, or like they're doing something right, and they can just smooth into those kind of round hole, and they become a number one, and that's great. That's your talent. That's awesome. But the many people are not like this. You don't have to be any of these. And then, indeed, most of the successful people on Earth are the self-creators, right? They're not looking for some sort of like institutions or some sort of like a career path that then they're gonna get A to B to get to a certain place. They create your own path, and that's the important thing. So yeah, don't think you don't have a talent. Everybody has a talent. If not, then you're not looking enough, or you have to have a faith in yourself. I talked about it in the previous video, but this is so important. And then create your own game. So does that mean whatever you want? Can you do whatever you want? Not really. Okay. Because if you try to just do whatever you want, and then if it's not sustainable, it means that no incomes come in or something. It's not sustainable. So somehow people like, okay. So you have to actually think those two, the balance, right? So you want to create your own game, but then other people want it to play as well. So it's got to be a little bit more fun. That type of creativity is important. If you try to do whatever, it's just a chaotic mess. At least these other people give you some kind of constraint that okay, these are the one that you actually do, so that other people wanted to play, buy, use your goods, service, and then pay you and things of that nature. So just think about this type of when you create your own game. Just think about other people. That gives you a lot of creativity here. So how do you achieve once you get certain ideas? What else you need? So find your niche. Niche means it's just small. That's fine. It's better really to have a small, ardent, like a fan, like somebody that likes to play with you, right? Like likes your stuff. Then the bunch of mediocre people who actually don't really care. It's like, but to have that community here. Even like 2 or 3 people is a bit, or even one. Like one people is better than 10 okay or 100 okay people. And also specialize. Of course, you need a curiosity to look around so that you can specialize better. But then at the end of the day, you want to have say, okay, this is what I'm trying to focus on. Right. Otherwise, you're trying to become let's say if you want to sell flowers and then now you want to bake cookies and it's all over the place, and And it takes time to develop your skills. So make sure that then if you going for the flower shop, let's say you gotta know about flowers, or at least certain types of flowers that people like, and that you're so expert at it, how to cultivate, where to get it, how much it costs, everything about that's the and the how to take care of it if you get sick, how you're gonna fix those plants and so forth. It's like you really have to specialize in it. You have to really know, and then see if that some other people who likes that kind of stuff wanted to play with you. So it's not just about working hard. Okay, if you just work hard, you're never gonna get it to the top. You generally it's a prerequisite in a sense, at least in the beginning, but it's more important that you work smart. Okay, you got to think. If the working hard is to make you in the top and then become successful, then that we're just a beast. You just carry out the dirt and then feel like you work hard and go back and forth. It just that's just not the way it works. So work smart and work hard. And how about like, okay, so I may be talking about like this prioritization, like once you start doing like a specialization. How about those kind of admin work, like taking care of like food or even the kind of accounting, or meeting up with people, all this type of other activities. Um, Initially, in the beginning, everything in the beginning is small, so you probably have to do all this by yourself, or with good friends that are partners that you wanted to actually do move forward with. But don't be afraid, right? Like just focus on it, make your core business the best, and then you become the number one. And then eventually, once a lot of people want to play, then you get more resource, so you can hire or work with more people, and you can delegate those tasks. But then the goal is to, within that organization, whatever, you want to be on the top. Like I'm not talking about the organization's top. Like let's say if you're a division, or even a division's top, or like if you're a sales, or if you're like a engineer, you want to be the top engineer. That's the goal, right? You always want to be and then if you cannot be on the top of engineer, let's say within the group, because somebody else is really smart, then you might want to split the engineering groups into smaller pieces so that you can be at the best. But then that doesn't mean that you avoid people who are smarter. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is you work together, and you always hang with people who are smarter than you. But then you do not compete. Okay. Yeah, and if you start kind of competing with other people, so you have a goal, right? Like whatever, like let's say for the business, whatever, you wanted to deal with the customers, but then you start competing with the competitors, you're actually distracted by what's more important, which is serving how you better to the customers, right? So competition itself is generally not really a good thing. It just drives you into more of a short-term thinking, because you wanted to win, like in a battles, so to speak, to just win. But that's not how you get to the top. Okay, think long term, find your niche, and then just go for it. And that's all you need. And yeah, you might not see like the result right away. Okay, but then that when you're going forward, you're learning a lot. Like wow, I'm actually this is really important. That type of like things, like you gain this kind of knowledge every day. Yeah, I can see what. So for instance, like, even if you become more like a specialized or more like expert at it, some books that you read, oh wow, this is important, but for my case, I can do it something differently. Or you can say, okay, this is an important point, but then this is not appropriate for my business. And so you can start kind of seeing it, not just the taking in. That kind of progress, that kind of advancement is necessary. So when you reach the top of your niche, by focusing authentically on what matters and specializing in your chosen field, success really follow naturally. And by being the top, your contribution is going to be a lot greater, and then you can actually benefit the society a lot more. And you're going to have a more resource come in, and the profits coming in, and then your life is get a lot better by being on the top. Thank you for watching. Please share your ideas in the comment section below to help each other, and hit like and the subscribe buttons so you get notified of the next video. See you next time.